All right, welcome on in everyone to First CSP for another episode of the Sunday Special. These episodes are ones where we highlight things that are not quite first issues but might be related to our first issue collection or updates from previous videos. This actually happens to be an update from our episode 31 where we looked at Utah National Park's first issue. If you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure that it is linked as the card at the end of this video and you can go check that one out as well. When we presented Utah National Parks, we talked about how they went from their very first issue to the third issue, where there was an error in between with the second issue. We didn't have the second issue in our collection at the time. We do now, so we thought we'd use a Sunday special to kind of bring you the update there. So Utah National Parks, again, was a merger from 1936, and their first issue had two variants, the 1A, 1B, depending on the text size. Then they wanted to reproduce the second issue, adding the fleur-de-lis, which is very common. As early CSPs progressed, they would add the fleur-de-lis or BSA or both. And when they ordered it, they, instead of continuing with the blue sky they had in the first issue, got a purple sky back from the manufacturers. That was an error, and we can see it here on the patch table. This is the S-2 at the top. For comparison's sake, I have the S-3. I have a couple of S-3s that the background shade certainly varies, so I'll show you the other one in a second, just for comparison's sake to this very, very violet sky, which does make the Utah National Park's name somewhat difficult to read. I can understand why it's not one that they continued with. It does seem to be a pattern with a few CSP issues where they intend to have blue and end up getting it back from the manufacturer as a purple. I think of Milano S. Takano had one of their later twill issues that is out of Texas, and they've got the bison on the prairie where the background's intended to be blue. They got it back purple. That also is an error, just like this is an error. So it seems to be a common error where you get purple instead of blue. Taking a look at the back here, it is an S2. As listed, they do say that only 360 of these were made. It makes it a little bit more challenging to get a hold of, or sometimes more expensive. And that's how it goes sometimes, but we are happy that we've been able to add this one to our collection. Hopefully someday we'll add the Milano S. Takano one as well. That's a more challenging one. They are certainly accessible. You can find them out there. They just end up being a little pricey. You got to save your money for them a little bit. This is actually what they wanted, was the blue sky. This is, again, the same imagery that you'll see on the Utah National Park's first issue, except now they've added that fleur-de-lis towards the center. Another S3 that came a little bit later, you can see has a more vibrant sky. I actually prefer this one. I believe the one that I had originally up here a moment ago that took off was an earlier S3, and then the later ones went to a much brighter sky. You can tell some differences in the backgrounds on those S3s as well, but they've never been listed as variations like 3A, 3B, 3, none of that. They've always just said there's some variation within the S3s. So they've always just had them as a single patch. I think that's something that a lot of people prefer, as opposed to coming up with all the A, Bs, and Cs. I certainly trend more towards wanting A, Bs, and Cs with first issues, and then anything after that, because we care about the first issue, is less concerning to me. But that's, individual collectors are going to have all their own opinions. I remember when we did Utah National Parks as episode 31, a lot of people thought that this color combination was a bit jarring. I'm guessing that those individuals will probably find the purple background to be even more jarring. I find the high contrast to be super interesting. If I was at Utah National Parks and this came back, I almost really like it and would just want to have it redone with Utah National Parks at the top in white, maybe. Or another kind of sunset variation color that would stick out from the purple. Obviously, the council no longer exists, so nobody in that area is going to do that. I guess this might be is this the high desert area now, council? Maybe they'll do a throwback where it says high desert, but it kind of looks like this. That would be kind of cool. I really like the purple one and the high contrast patches, and I think they can be done well, but I can also understand where some people find it to be a bit off-putting. But that is this episode of the Sunday Special. Just wanted to show you uh, this that is in the sequence of Utah National Parks we didn't happen to have in our collection when we showed you that episode originally. We have it now, so we thought it'd be a fun update. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Again, we've got new first CSP episodes out every day, including there's one today, so you can check that episode out and then come back tomorrow for another new one as well. We hope you are enjoying your time here on the channel. I want to thank all of our loyal supporters who have been coming back to watch every single episode. Supporting that channel really means a lot to us, and we really enjoy bringing you this content. But until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.